Look, Valve, we love and appreciate everything you do, and thanks for giving us the greatest game of all time and continuing to iterate CS2 to be the next one to take the mantle. But please, for the love of all things holy, release updates a little earlier in the day for Mr. Voiceover's sake. Late last night, European time, Valve released another update to Counter-Strike 2, changing the map once more, adding a second, and accidentally leaking another, which we'll get to in a minute, and they also added Casual. Nuke is the newest map added to the pool, and like the two that came before it, it is so much brighter. Outside is bright, the box is particularly red, and getting AWP from heaven has never been so sexy. Speaking of which, we tested some cross smokes to make sure they still work, and they do. They're pretty forgiving. Look how far apart these two nades are, for example, but you might need to adjust your lineups. We also tried to do an old one way to see what happened, and we might have accidentally recreated it, sort of. We kept moving outside and saw some glass, and the intrusive thoughts took over. Here's what it looks like with bullet holes too, which is somehow even cooler. We went for a walk through radio, got spooked by our own shadow, and then went back in a little bit later to inspect some safety awards. Before we get to office, there's a couple of other things mentioned we should go over. You can inspect each grenade, with the coolest being the HE grenade, but all of them having amazingly distractive animations that will certainly get us killed at some point. We're told that bunny hopping is now a lot easier, but watching us try it you might not think so. It's supposed to be much closer to CSGO and 128 tick, and we did eventually hit one after a while. This isn't to say it's untrue, we just suck at bunny hopping. Onto Office, and the map is almost identical to what you remember. A quick little run through the map, it looks nearly the same as the CSGO version, just a little bit prettier, and it did give us an excuse to shoot some glass again, and then set some on fire for good measure. You can still shoot all the boxes and stuff everywhere, and there's a couple of new Easter eggs. Walking through the office, we decided to look at the pictures, and this one seems familiar. Office will almost certainly continue to be the unbalanced, hilarious mess of a map it's always been, now with much cooler glass physics. Back on that picture though, actually. Supposedly CS2 Inferno was accidentally leaked in the files, and it looks sick. The church looks good enough to pray in, the streets look more alive, and the B-site looks more like a real place and less like it was designed to be in a shooting game, if that makes sense. The one change that is very noticeable from the screenshots is how Graveyard has been changed on A. The cover on stairs is completely gone, and this position looks far more open now. That concludes this rundown of the newest changes in CS2, and these ones are more enticing than ever before. Movement heads will likely be excited, if not satiated just yet, and we're getting closer and closer to release date, whenever that might be.